Yes, it is. Hi. Or just show up and watch. Wow.
Allegedly. Show up and watch, allegedly.
Yeah. Well, we'll just talk amongst ourselves.
Plausible deniability and all that stuff.
All my buttons aren't working right. So again, like, share, subscribe. Since you couldn't hear me the first time I said it, because for some reason it's not unmuting on my Stream Deck. I so can't wait to get this reset up again.
This green border thing is gonna get annoying.
What green border?
You know, I noticed it. There's a yellow border that goes back and forth between the two of you when you're active.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now I see it.
So yeah, whatever. I mean, it's better than what was it? Skype crashing my computer. I don't know what the hell that was about. Skype. I sent a request to Skype about what's going on. They don't fucking know. They're like, it must be your computer. I'm like, well, everything else works. Like, I'm using Zoom, no problem. I guess I'll go spend money at Zoom.
Might as well.
So yes,
I just go buy Zoom. It's cool.
It's cool.
Right. Yeah, we didn't get the snow we thought we were gonna get this week, or at least yesterday or whatever. At least they kept saying over here.
It's still snowing pretty good by me. I was a little Chardon. I came from Chardon earlier, and it was definitely worse there.
Right. Well, we got a bunch of ice here, so it was like snow, then some ice, and a little snow on top. So it wasn't too bad, but it could have been a lot worse. And I guess the roads were horrible last night, but I didn't.
Yeah, it looked pretty. It was pretty gnarly. I was a little disappointed when I got up this morning because I was like, shit, I got to go to work. I can drive.
Right.
It was drivable.
Oh, goody. Let's see. I see people talking. Hey, Brett, and I don't.
Hey, Brett's actually on.
There it is.
Hey, we actually got a couple people. Look at that.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, looky there. Get chat going down there.
Well, so I've noticed some things. I've been going over a few websites with the whole classification of militias and groups and all this fun crap. And so, you know how we got the anti-government label?
Yes.
I think it was because of our old emblem used to have the 3%er emblem in it. Because,
it could, but did it? But here's so it was on. Yeah, I guess it was on the. At that time, it was available on a few things.
On some hoodies, on some T-shirts, on some.
Yeah, I was gonna say because most of us were in the polos at the actual event where they got us.
But if you were cold or when it was raining and you put your hoodie on, guess what you were wearing? So, and the only reason I found that out and made that connection was because of I've noticed that every single 3% organization has been labeled anti-government.
Oh, absolutely.
Every single 3%
absolutely
has been labeled anti-government.
But so when you were looking, and I don't disagree that I'm sure that will for us, but that's why I can't figure out though with like groups like it's unbelievable how many quote unquote and they're like constitutional party. I mean, really groups that aren't even militia, they're more political parties. And they're still listed in the same list as us.
Right. And I don't understand that.
No.
Well,
I don't know where the
it.
label of constitutional has turned into anti-government. I don't know how that's been connected. I really don't.
Yeah. And they won't. I mean, seriously, like, and especially now, when it first happened, I tried and never got any response, obviously. And I'll be honest, I didn't go at it hardcore because it was one of those things that if they were going to put us on the list without even talking to us, whatever.
Right, and they haven't even responded to you, which is
no. And at this point now with COVID, dude, it's all answering machines. All you get every time you click, to speak to blah blah blah, you click, and it's another answering machine with options, and then it's another answering machine with options.
Yep.
I mean, it took me like 3 or 4 clicks, which, by the way, every time you click, there's a new person asking you if you would like to donate to Southern Poverty Law. Everywhere, every
Who'd
time.
have thunk it?
Right.
Yeah.
An organization that's there for a reason, that the real reason is give us more money.
Pretty much. But so they've never, I mean, I've never gotten back to me. However, I am looking into, I was contacted yesterday or the day before. There are a bunch of groups. Now I got to see what groups they are. I don't know everybody involved, but there are I guess there's a whole bunch of groups that have obtained a lawyer, and they're trying to get basically almost like a class action suit to get their names taken off of Southern Poverty Law's list.
Huh. Now, is this a bunch of groups getting one lawyer, or are they all?
Yeah. So it sounds like they have a lawyer who's willing to take the case more or less pro bono.
Okay.
And they're not suing for money or anything like that. They're simply suing to have their name
off the list.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
How do we get on that? Oh, here's the thing though: is the class action lawsuit like everybody gets off, or nobody gets off, or is it an individual case?
That I don't know. I just got contacted, like I said, the other day, and they asked me if I'd be interested because they knew that we were mentioned in the picture in the Dayton article, and they knew that it kind of caused some grief among the group a little bit, and and people upset about it. So they contacted me, and I'm gonna look into it.
Right.
Some of the people involved, I'm kind of like, maybe not.
Well, if it's a all or none situation, we don't want to jump on that.
Right. Well, and here's the other thing too. I have to confirm this. I don't know that, but a rumor about some of the people involved, they're probably closer to anti-government than you know what I mean? So
so that would just put us guilty by association.
Yeah, so that's what I want to make sure that it doesn't actually make it worse by getting involved.
Right.
But who knows what group or list will be on after the lawsuit.
Don't forget, there is a lot of chitter chatter about what re-education camps.
Oh,
Lord. Oh
yeah.
boy.
But I mean, isn't that all? I mean, it kind of goes both ways. It's either one side claims everybody's gonna get deported, or the other side claims everybody's getting re-educated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's be honest. There were fringe groups saying that about Trump with he was going to put gays in re-education camps.
Right. That's true. I remember that.
Yeah. It's everybody's just got to get their 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, but think about it. I think you came into our conspiracy corner the other day, like mighty quiet in here.
Oh yeah.
Like, all this shit I see on a weekly basis. It's all conspiracy. Every bit, right, left, center, every.
Yeah, I mean, until it's proven. I mean, that's the problem. Until it's proven,
it's all conspiracy. I mean, God, how many weeks did we go where this is going to happen because of that? This is going to happen because of that. I mean, was the fence and the National Guard not Trump? Did he not put them in place?
Well, so I don't know. So I've looked into that a little bit, and I'm a little confused because I know the mayor called the White House at some point. And there's again, it's mostly conspiracy at this point because there's some things that I've read that say they denied, and then I saw some where it was hey, we're not going to do that. Contact it wasn't Homeland Security. Secretary of Defense, maybe.
Yeah, well, that, but and then there's also been this week that there's been some talk that what the heck's her name? Delayed it. Delayed even requesting it. Fuck, what's her name?
Oh, yeah, the mayor. There's what and that's the thing too, that there's rumors that after she called the president, she had other options, or called the White House, I should say.
Yeah.
And she had other options and was like, you know what, then fuck it. If it happens, it happens.
Right.
So
now I heard rumor, and maybe you guys don't know, but I heard rumor that some Republicans are taking or filed a letter with Nancy Pelosi asking why all the stuff happened on the 6th, why there was essentially stand down, why the backups were never called in a timely manner.
Well, I mean, those are, that's actually, I'll at least give them credit, I'll at least give them credit for that. If that's something they want to look into, if there was because big if Trump intentionally riled up the crowd, knowing that he had denied extra security, I'd give them a little credit for going after him.
Right.
I'd give them a little credit. But
does it the question at hand is, does Trump deal with the security for the Capitol building?
I honestly don't think he's got anything to do now. But doesn't he have to? I think his only power there is to call in the National Guard, because the mayor can't, right? So, yeah. So,
but that's the thing. That's the thing. I saw today that somebody is filing
I have to look something up.
a lawsuit on Trump over the fact that he incited the riot, allegedly.
Well, but again, they keep talking about how he incited the riot, but a lot of that, the timelines that were coming out at least the week of, now what they've changed or what's different now, he was still on the stage when they had already breached at least up onto the steps.
Yeah.
So,
well, we don't need to get into semantics. That's getting into semantics on specifics of the 6th. You can go watch Louder with Crowder. You can go watch a half a dozen freaking other people to see the details in the timeline and have it, perfectly laid out as official journalists. We will tell you on this show on Tuesday nights at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time, we are not journalists. We're just 3 guys talking about the news that's happening around the world or around us right now. Don't take any of this and say, this is fact. It's stuff we read.
Hey, I'm actually looking up some facts.
Okay. Well, he's going to have facts for you. But that being said, if Trump had no control over the security at the Capitol building, why are there videos right now that you can go out and find where there are MAGA hat wearing, patriot clothed people looking at police officers standing along the side going, you're going to let this happen? Why aren't you doing something? Call in backup. We can find you these videos. They're out there. Open your eyes and look. The problem is...
So in DC, if take out the National Guard, in DC, you have these agencies available to basically DC and the mayor: the Marshal Service, the Park Police, the Mint Police, the Capitol Police, the Metropolitan Police, the Secret Service, the District of Columbia Protective Services, who is strictly for Congress, and in addition to public safety, Metropolitan, another public services, the library police, the schools police, the Metropolitan Transit Police, and the Washington National Cathedral Police.
And everything you said, all I heard was law enforcement, law enforcement, law enforcement, law enforcement, police, 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 police. So they all got the same damn training. They all have the same gear.
There is basically just under 5,000 available law enforcement to basically the DC mayor and DC area.
Who has the call-up orders?
I mean, they're all district. Oh, that is funny. So I was wrong. In addition to, you're gonna love this. There is also the Amtrak police. These are all available to uniformed presence in the District of Columbia. The Armed Force Retirement Police Force, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing Police Force, the CIA Secret Protective Service, the FBI officer.
But there was nobody on that. What was the 6th?
Nobody could be
a
there.
Wednesday, a Tuesday. What was it?
Barely they all had the day off.
What was that? A Tuesday? And nobody else available. Nobody.
Yeah. So there's roughly about, like I said, somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000, federal and or District of Columbia officers that were available that day. And yet there were 30 of them, 40 of them at the Capitol, maybe.
I'm just trying to dig out some worms out of the can right now.
Something stinks.
My question to start this conversation out was, did Trump order the fence, the Constantine wire, and the National Guard to the Capitol building, or not to the Capitol building on the 6th, but for the inauguration, the days leading up to the inauguration? Did Trump?
I think he called in the Guard. I think he gave. Okay, so this is something that we kind of covered way back. Like maybe the show right after. So that power was actually given back to, ultimately, as the commander-in-chief, he has the ultimate power. But that authority, somewhere like 20-something years ago, or maybe even 30, was actually passed down to the either SecNav or Secretary of Defense to have the authority to call in the National Guard. So I think one of them called the National Guard coordinated that.
So
under the authority of the president.
So to bring it to today, which is February 16th, right?
Yep.
Why is there still a fence and National Guard on the Capitol?
Oh, because of House or Senate bill, or no, House Bill 834, I believe, because they
So do walls work?
Apparently. In D.C. they do.
Okay.
Well, see, walls only work to keep white people out.
Whoa. Whoa.
I'm gonna go ahead and go.
Whoa. We're going to make another list here.
I don't want to be on that list. But in all seriousness.
Well, no, but
they just went through another impeachment trial and an acquittal. That's 2-0, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm seeing stuff posted that there are representatives, Democrats, however you want to say it, that are filing suit against Trump for inciting riot, even though there was absolutely no fucking real evidence in this impeachment trial other than Reddit posts and fucking tweets from news reporters.
Welcome to OJ's life.
Hold on.
Oh.
Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna take us way the fuck back to when we started this show. If you watch this stream at any point in time, where is your line? Because mine's real damn close.
Oof.
These people don't give a shit about anybody out here.
No.
They are playing a dangerous little game. If you are hyper focused on HR 127, you're an idiot. Go look at every other bill they're trying to shove through. Not even a lie. If you don't know where to look, here's the simple answer. Go to heartlanddefenders.com, request to join in there, and we'll get you access to this information through our website. I promise. But if the only thing you see is everybody on social media talking about 127, 127, 127, yeah, 127 may or may not be the straw that breaks the camel's back. But for the love of God, these people are playing a game that you, if you're not paying attention to, would probably go insane if you actually look at it.
Well, yeah, the fence, so there is a bill that I'm following, and it's actually gaining co-sponsors now, to not only make that fence permanent, to take in addition to using our tax dollars to do it.
Yeah. Everything they do involves our tax dollars.
Yes.
They don't make their own money.
And so they are going to, the proposal is to not only build a fence, but to make it a double fence and basically lock American citizens out of their government completely.
Hey, you know what do you know what I equate that to? Have you ever watched a medieval movie and somebody's like the peasants are trying to uprise and they're trying to figure out how to get into the castle, how to get to
get around the moat
that are up there, and there's this giant fucking moat around the place and this giant fucking wall, and they have to figure out how to get over and up above and through that wall while there's guards all over the top shooting arrows at them, throwing tar, throwing pitch, flaming arrows, all that. Welcome to the kingdom.
Yeah.
Well, right. And if you
actually
pay attention to the even some of the historical on the castles and how they did that, they had layers. So the lowest of the low lived in the lower outlying areas, and then the more rich, the higher up they came.
I'll give you a technical term for that. You want to know what it is? Defense in depth. It's defense in layers.
Yep.
That's all that term means. Defense in depth. It's defense in layers. So you got to get through layer 1 to get to 2, 2 to get to 3, 3 to get to 4, 4 to get to 5, and maybe if that's as lazy as they are, then you get what you're trying to get to.
Right.
Well, it's easier to guard the king that way.
Oh yeah. Well, but at this point, who or what is the king? I mean,
that's a good question.
I mean, my biggest concern is we're not going to make it to 2022 for the I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to say fair weather patriots, but the more laid back, like it's not as bad as you think it is, people out there. I don't think we're going to make it to 2022 to, get rid of the Democrats and elect all Republicans and get the House and the Senate back, and we're going to do that. I mean, I watched a video, guys, like, hey, here's a good idea. Trump needs to run for the House, for a House seat in Florida in 2022.
That wouldn't shock me. I have a feeling that's what he's going to do.
Hold on. And then we elect all Republicans, which makes Trump the Speaker of the House in 2022. And then they file impeachment for Biden and Harris. And then they impeach both of them because we have the House and the Senate.
Oh, I thought we were just gonna start a rumor that Biden and Kamala know too much about the Clintons.
Oh well, they already do. I mean, it's not a rumor. Anyway, so I mean,
allegedly.
Allegedly.
I am a very thinking person. I don't think we're going to make it to that. I think the Dems, I think the elites, let's not even use Dems and Republicans.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
the elites,
That's the problem.
I think the corrupt politicians, they are going to screw with this shit so minutely that everyday Joe, everyday Jane has no idea what they're doing. And 2022 comes around and it's like, yeah, you're going to vote, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I can't say. Yeah, I can't say it doesn't matter. Now, if you tell me that our only choices are going to be the same old, then yes, I would say you're correct. If there's not other choices, then yeah, I mean, I think we've gone at that ad nauseum about. There's just not that much difference between the two parties anymore.
Oh,
there just isn't. Yeah. So if we can't fundamentally change that part and get in on that, and it will by 2022, it ain't going to happen. I mean, you're going to have to start. I think you can still start small because again, just like all the things that were, all the crap that they said for 4 years about Trump and 2 years before he was elected about all the things he was going to do, and he didn't do any of those things. I think the vast majority of, because let's be honest, all right, I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican in the South, I'd say most of the Midwest, I mean, other than a few obvious coastal states, you aren't, I would say a good 33, if not 50% of your constituents own guns, whether you're Republican or Democrat. Ain't none of them be happy if you vote for taking away guns.
Right.
None of them. So at that point,
especially with the 7 million new gun owners in the past year.
Right.
Well, see, I'm going to say half of the 7 million new gun owners, the minute they say you can't have more than 10 rounds and you can't have semi-automatics, which is basically, Cosper, did you actually fully read 127?
Oh, God, I've read about 7 different.
You can't have shotgun shells bigger than 410.
Right.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, it's
dude,
crazy.
I went through my teens where I had to shoot with a single fucking shot 410 to shoot a rabbit. That's bullshit.
No. The bill states. No more than 10 rounds.
Drail's right. You got to read what he just said. I think that.
Yeah.
It is. It's still a long game. I mean, it's a long game.
But it's a long game. But War Room this idea. 127 gets co-sponsors. 127 passes House. 127 hits the Senate, passes the Senate. Biden takes that son of a bitch and he signs it like it's a heartbeat bill.
Yeah, that'll be the end.
I'm asking you and Jeremy, we're in here. Do you really think that'll be the end? Do you really think that will make these people? These people.
Yeah. Well, here's why, and I'll tell you why. Because I would guess, best guess right now, within if and when some of the states are going to fight it, some of the you could see a constitutional Congress at that point where the states get together and override. The states themselves get together and override the president. Make an amendment saying that you can't do that. So I think that's a possibility. Before that ever, I think that something like that will be held up in court for a long, long time before it ever actually gets done. But let's say, for argument's sake here, let's say
that's what I'm saying. War room.
Let's say it happens. Jurisdictions start, they start enforcing it because a vast majority of us aren't gonna, all of a sudden head to the police department and turn our shit in.
Right.
That ain't gonna happen.
I don't know what happened to him. I haven't seen him in years.
And here's so they're gonna have to come take them. I would guess that within the first 30 days, I'd say the first 30 days there's 100 officers dead.
Most likely, if they go door to door, correct.
Yeah, and at that point,
but
at that point, then that's one of a few things is going to happen. Either A, law enforcement is going to be like, go after yourself. I ain't going to these guys' houses.
I think I honestly think that's the answer.
Oh, I think it's a definite possibility.
I think a lot of county sheriffs, a lot of law enforcement agencies would be like, no.
There's some already saying that there's already some saying they would, that they'll do that they won't. And so what's your next thing? And here's the thing. Here's where it gets funky now. If the state says no, well, the feds have to be invited to then enforce that law, much like marijuana in Colorado. So if he basically, the only way at that point he can actually send federal troops, because it would be troops at that point, would be declare martial law across the whole country, and then I think then it's on.
Right. Because you're definitely violating Second Amendment right. I mean, even passing this law is going to put a lot of people over their "this is my limit" point, because of the fact that
I think so.
It's going to infringe so hard on their Second Amendment right.
But how many?
Because, I mean, look at how hard they're stepping on our First Amendment right of us just saying we don't agree with our government. Now we're being labeled, if I say I don't agree with what they're doing, I'm anti-government. And then if I'm anti-government,
it's not even just the labeling. It's not even just the labeling us anti-government. It's the fact that you can't say certain things or display certain things on platforms because you'll just be banned, straight out banned.
You will. There's certain phrases that I've seen that I'm like, this is ridiculous. People have been like, I got to what was it? You, Cosper?
Yeah, I got it for doing so.
WT?
Yeah, somebody literally wrote, somebody put up a meme of like a car that was, made of like 6 different cars.
Right.
So I put, what the white trash, LOL.
And you got a ban. Because you posted it, they said that violated hate speech or some shit.
Yeah.
So you can't even say white trash.
No.
On Facebook. You can't type it out.
You can't say it because you're...
Well,
anybody else can say it if they're not.
But that's the thing that kills me. So I went on to a couple of one of my buddies is big into hip hop. So I went on to his a couple of things that because he finds it ridiculous that I get banned by all this shit all the time. He's kind of a cool kid. And I go onto this private Facebook page, and it's private, but we know that it isn't private, not the Facebook. There are song lyrics on there that every 5th word is N, and I ain't mean duh, I mean and I'm telling you, it's listed 30 times in a post. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Wow.
I'm like,
how you getting away with that? I know.
I'm like, so I mean, you have to start to wonder the algorithms. Obviously, those are algorithms that are. I mean, there's no way they can be physically checking this. So it's got to be an algorithm, right? I'm assuming.
A lot of it, correct. The other way is being reported.
Keyword. It's keyword.
Keyword or being reported is mostly what happens.
So keywords. So you have to be then targeting strictly certain individuals then. Like I would love to see that list.
Oh, it's huge. It's got to be huge.
Yeah, but I'd love to see which way it skews.
You're Oh well, that's already been shown. I mean, you don't need to see a physical list.
Well, I mean, and I know other groups. I know there have been other groups that are quote unquote the other side that get bans and stuff, but it definitely, I would say it's, it seems like it's 13 on this side or 14 or 20 to every one on this side.
Well, and it goes into the same thing of the what you say side to side when it came to a certain group of people a few years back referring to things as the Holocaust. Right. And nobody had a problem with it.
That's not a no. The most recent one, the actress from The Mandalorian.
Well, correct. I was getting there. That's where I was going.
Yeah. Well, you know that the guy that works for Disney posted a picture that basically said, it was the losses of Republicans, I guess, but it was a war.
Ooh, that Halo's got your eyes going, dude.
He's lizard. Fuck.
It was beyond offensive. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And what it was saying, but because of the individual group that it was targeted to, Disney didn't fire him. Hell, he still got a job.
Right.
But she makes a post not even directly saying anything, saying it kind of feels like this.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, bye.
Well, the problem with her was, though, is she has been causing that kind of issue for Disney with her Twitter account for months. But now, not the surprise is the main actor that plays the Mandalorian is being rumored to leaving because they fired her.
Well, yeah, that's what's got to happen, though.
I'm not justifying it, but I mean,
it sounded like I'm not trying to be a dick. I am, but it sounded like you said she's been doing this for months. It sounds like you're justifying it.
No.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm not.
It's the first damn amendment. As long as you're not screaming fire in a fucking theater or physically threatening somebody, it's your First Amendment right to say stuff.
But when you're the face of a franchise and you're becoming one of the main characters in a franchise, and you're an employee of a company, a company has a right to release you for you saying anything or doing something over and over again you've been asked to stop.
Really.
Well, if she's been at now, here's where I get I'll defend Jeremy for sure on this. If she has been told, if she has been sat down and said, listen, we get it, you're a hardcore this, we understand. However, as and I'm going to tell you, I know for a fact, now my cousin's a flaming liberal, so it doesn't matter to him, but he works for Disney.
Yeah.
He's an executive producer for Disney. I know for a fact that he has a morality clause. Yeah. If he gets caught drinking and driving, he can be fired. If he gets caught on camera in public saying, even the F word, with kids around or something, they could fire him.
Mm-hmm.
So Disney does have a hardcore morality clause. Now, should morality filter into your political views? It's debatable.
But again, I'm not even going moral or non-moral, right or left. I'm going just like here in Ohio. A company you work for, any point in time for any reason, can ask you to leave.
True.
That's true. She has had multiple incidences on her Twitter, and Disney has come out and said we do not support what she says, and they have had conversations with her about, we need you to back off a little bit, stop being so controversial. I mean, we're not telling you to stop speaking your mind, but maybe think about what you're doing more, because you are a representative of Disney,
right,
and your face is the representative of a franchise.
Right. Jacob, does this almost go back to, though, what you said in the beginning about the lack of security? Did they, and whoever they may be, did they let the Capitol happen in order to make it easier to demonize people that may support Trump?
Yes.
Sorry, that was my personal belief, but yeah. Allegedly, some woman was at the Capitol building with a gun. Yeah. If you're so dense that you're not going to realize the false flags are going to come flying over the next
year. And I don't even know if that's conspiracy anymore. I think because think about it. Think about how many events we've been to in DC. If you think about even the smallest one, that last one we went to for the redress of grievances,
right?
How many effing cops were around for 20 of us?
Right.
I mean,
they knew thousands were coming, and yet they had a minimum staff hanging out.
And
really?
they didn't even have enough cops that they would have at a rally in the National Mall. I mean, not only did you have the president in public, literally in public on a stage public, but you also had the vice president and a vast majority of the Senate in DC in one building,
about minus half mile one, away.
And nobody, and there's no security. I mean, come on.
The fact that I can find videos with security guards walking the people around, like the ones that are like publicized, like the ones that are, the dude in the horn hat thing and the who I'm talking about. There's videos of that guy being escorted around by an officer in uniform inside the fucking house.
Question about that though. Do you or do you not think that was a tactic to lead them away from where they took everybody? I mean, if you know the vice president was secure.
He was gone before they got in the door.
He went to the tunnel. Some of them went to offices, but do you not think that
AOC was in danger and almost murdered, and she was
in what
9 blocks away or some shit?
I'd say in like Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
but I've seen those videos. Personally, when you're a guard, a single guard with multiple people. Now, and whether this is part of their training, I'd love to know. If you're in a situation like that, is it your job to lead them away from the principles?
Okay, I'll give you that.
I don't know. Purely speculation.
I'll give you. Let's play with that. Let's play with that idea. Okay. Would you lead them to like some offshoot rooms over here that nobody's in, because that's not where they go, or do you lead them to the fucking halls of Congress, like the most sacred area, and go, guys, be careful with what you do. This is the most sacred of sacred places. Like, literally, that's the conversation.
Think about it, though. If you could lead, and I don't know if you've ever been in the hall. No. I've been in the hall. Okay, I've been in the hall. So you can conceivably, if you brought people into that, if you brought X amount of people into the hall, you could then, secure those doors, and you can hit the balcony and have rifles on them in a matter of seconds from the balcony.
It was 2 people.
Oh, I understand that. But was the plan maybe to get them, corral them? Hey, you know what?
I have a hard time believing that because of the sensitive items, the materials that were in the room. It wasn't like they picked up their shit and left. I mean, Nancy Pelosi's laptop disappeared. Paperwork.
I want to see what's on that. Why has that not hit the internet yet?
I just want to see what porn she watches. That's all.
Because the dude suicided himself in the back of the head.
No, you don't.
Hey, guys, did you forget this? I mean, has it really been that long? The dude that took the laptop suicided himself in the back of the head.
Oh, of course.
I did not hear that one.
Yeah. He suicided himself.
That's the guy that posted the picture of like 8 or 10 laptops on a table, wasn't it?
I don't know for sure. All I know is he is no longer with us. Epstein.
I didn't know the Clintons were there.
That's probably where the emails were.
I'm just saying. It's like
good point.
It's like let's take it back to the first question. Where the fuck is your line? Because these people don't give a shit about you. They literally walked out of that thing 3 hours later and went, okay, fuck it. We're gonna let it go. We're going to ostracize every single person from the Trump camp, and anybody labeled as a patriot is a terrorist. Straight up terrorist. This, in my mind, this is the Obama administration's Department of Homeland Security paperwork from like 2000 and what was it, 2014, 2000, between 2000
somewhere in there,
12 and 2014. DHS's freaking paperwork that basically laid out veterans, people with missing fingers, people that stored 7 days worth of food, people that had waterproof ammunition, all were potential domestic homegrown terrorists, right?
Yes, we are. Oh no, allegedly. Sorry.
Okay, this is their fucking wet dream. They took this opportunity and said all of these people are terrorists. Don't worry about what happened.
They set up the opportunity, but go on.
Allegedly. That's why the Republicans are asking these questions to Pelosi, which we're never going to get the answer to.
But do you? Let's be honest though. Do the Republicans really give a shit either? I mean, do they really? I mean,
there's some. I believe there are some.
But I believe I have talked to several, and I've written to several Democrats over the years. Some have not wound up in angry letters back from the Secret Service, but some have, allegedly. But there's in correspondence I've had with even some of the less radical Democrats. I think there are good Democrats, and I think there are and I don't even know if you call them. I think there are good people in Congress on both sides, but in order for them to, unfortunately, to progress and get anything done, they get sucked in. That's why all of a sudden you want to know who the people that you probably shouldn't trust in DC. Look for freshman senators and freshman Congress people who wind up on some of the best committees in DC, because the minute they get those committees, that means, especially as a freshman.
With you saying that, with the fact that what's her name, Marjorie Taylor Greene being removed from all committees, and trying to basically fire her from the seat, would that be like, hey, maybe we should like pay attention here?
Yeah, she's definitely, because I think she might be a little over the top, but that might be what DC needs. DC, I feel that Marjorie, a lot of what she says at times gets taken the wrong way, because she says it. She's I think a lot like us and the few people that are watching now. I think she's angry. So when she gets up, when she gets opportunities to speak, she's angry with what's happened to this country, and she's speaking like we would. And people in DC aren't used to people talking to them like that. Yeah. And there needs to be more of them.
Well, we've talked about it in a couple of episodes, and I think we're both, if Jeremy's not, I think at least both of us are still looking at it. I think that might be one of the biggest problems with me trying to get into politics is I'm not going to shut up.
Well, no, but I think, you know what though? I think there are people on both sides, and again, we've talked about that. The biggest problem being there's both sides, but I think there are a lot of people in America right now that are tired of the same old, because the same old. You can start at Bush through now. The same old. A little different with Trump. Trump did a lot of stuff that I think we feel was at least pro-American finally. Was he perfect candidate? No, but I think he was a good candidate in the fact that a lot of what he did was pro-America for the economy, for working class, for middle class, whether they want to admit it or not. He did a lot of good things for that sector of the country, who for years from Republicans and Democrats has been spit on and forgotten. He spoke for them. And as the elites in DC, and the elites are everyone, they're not just Democrats, not just Republicans.
Right.
That pissed them off because it did get us as Americans riled up. And that's why you saw so many turn on him with this impeachment. But just enough of them. So just enough of the party said, oh yeah, let's side with the Dems so it looks like we're into this whole unity shit. And then, you know what, but we won't pass it because we don't want to actually convict him, because if we actually convict him, that first incident of the Capitol, probably child's play to actually convict him.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that the inciting of the riot is specific just to January 6th? Or do you think it's just the tongue-in-cheek way of saying waking up at least half of the country to the swamp, to the elites?
I think his whole, I think it's
the whole 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. Yeah, I think his whole 4 years led up to this moment. And again, I think both sides saw this coming up, and both sides, I think, are responsible for letting January 6th happen, because now where are we at? We're back to the fucking beginning again. Other than some of us being still extremely angry, now we're back to the same old shit in DC.
Yep. Same
old. Now we're back to, oh yeah, hey, we'll give you guys a little, and you know what? You sponsor this bill, and guess what? Your lobbyists will give you money, and our lobbyists will give us money. We'll stay rich. F the middle class, F the working Americans, and F those Trump people.
Well, what, 75,000, I think it was? Are we above that now? I mean, day one, Keystone Pipeline, 75,000 jobs, bye.
Yeah. And has everybody not noticed the fuel prices already going up?
Well, and you know what's funny about that? Is it's complete bullshit, because all they did was put that oil on a train and trucks and brought it down here, so nothing's fucking changed.
Have you followed the money?
Yes.
Do you know who owns the rail?
It's now changed. It's now changed.
Do you know who owns the rail cars that
Soros.
The oil? Huh?
Soros Company.
No, it's not Soros. Is it Soros?
Yep. Yeah, he bought that railroad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Follow the fucking money.
Yeah. It's him and two other big elite families.
Make billions. They're gonna make billions.
Of course they are. And guess what? Guess what's gonna happen? In 4 years, in 4 years, we'll all elect, because there'll be jobs, the economy will be shit again. So they'll throw up some Republican that's gonna, help the middle class again, and we're gonna make America,
Oh no! It's been 2 months. It's been 2 months. You've got Candace Owens and freaking who's it supposed to be? Candace Owens and what was the press secretary's name?
Oh, Is she old enough?
I've seen Candace Owens and her. I've seen Candace Owens.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, and this will irritate people, but I'm okay. I like Candace Owens. However, if you really dig into Candace Owens she is such a shill for the Republican Party. I mean, she's the next generation, because that's what they need, of Republican Party, to keep the balance back into the same old shit again. She's gonna be the one that draws some black vote, draws white votes who feel guilty because, if they don't vote for a black person, and she's gonna bring back, the Republican Party. But the problem is that the Republican Party and the Democrat Party are the fucking problem.
Well, but again, I think we did this the week before and the week after the election. I hate to break it to you, but math is math, and it's not Common Core. You can't make bullshit up and it change it. These two parties control it. It's either this one or this one.
But they don't.
When I say they control it, I mean these are the top two. Majority of the votes are going to go to these two. All the others, the Libertarian, that's
not what I'm talking about, though. But they don't control it. We control it. We allow that. If you could keep the two parties. It's what we are allowing our representatives to do with that power. We've given them the power to represent us, and they don't represent us. You can still be a Republican, you can still be a Democrat and represent us. And that's what we have to make sure people that get in there, whatever party they are from, represent us. Period. I don't give a shit what party you're with. But you damn well better honor the fucking oath you take and start remembering that as we the people, we do have the power. And at some point, you're going to push that too far, and we the people are going to do something about it.
But Cosper, they built the wall and you're putting up the moat. What can we do? We're just
I saw a guy in San Diego take a tank right through a couple of walls.
I'm not going to disagree.
That's what he did.
We're a few minutes shy of the hour, guys. We'll do this again next week.
That might be a good thing.
But where's the line? I guess my question is when do I not have to go to work anymore? When do I say, okay, now it's really time to go do American patriot shit? Like, when
we have to be standing on it, are we not? I mean, are we not standing? I think we're standing on the line. I think we're standing on the line right now. My question to it is it's kind of like the zombie horde, right? One or two zombies, pop shot, done, right? You can handle one or two zombies. You can't handle 500,000 zombies. You can't handle 50% of this country. So if there's 50% of this country, maybe even 80-some million people in this country that actually voted for Trump and actually classify themselves patriots and actually are seeing this shit happening. What if we're better shots? Nothing.
Okay. if there's 50% of this country that's a patriot, if we're standing on that line, one or two of us, we go walking up and push down the fence. I mean, just remember Virginia, man. There were so many people in Virginia for that two-way rally. We all stood there and said, that fence ain't shit. If we want that ground, we'll take that ground. right?
Well, but at that, I would say, but would you not say that since that day? So, let's say we were 15 feet away from that fence that day.
Okay.
Would you not say we're probably 2 feet away from that fence today?
I'd say I got my hand on the fence right now.
I agree.
I'm literally standing there like leaning into the fence like, are you guys going to help or am I going to do this myself?
And I think unfortunately, as let's be honest, part of what happened, whether they let it happen, which some of us do believe, of course, they let it happen. Allegedly. I think the other thing that happened from that, whether good versus bad, is that it put fear, and a healthy fear, I think, into the people that sit in those buildings that, you know what? This was a very unorganized, small by percentages of people that feel like us in the country, and they were able to breach one of the most secure, usually, buildings in the country, and that was a very small, unorganized event. What could we, the people, do in an organized event?
Right.
But we're up against it. But we'll talk more about this next week.
Fair.
But here, let me take you home with this. Okay. And this goes to everybody watching this stream, and share this to all of your friends. All of your friends that are in other groups, other patriot organizations, other conversations like this, share it with them. Say, hey, go to 45 minutes and watch from there. Do whatever. Can we actually be organized?
They're hoping not.
They keep trying to take away
with all the things we do, all the things we're involved with.
Where Jeremy's going next. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
With all the things we're involved with all the conversations we have with other people and other organizations and other groups, do you honestly believe in your heart of hearts that we could be organized?
Yes.
We could.
But Jeremy's right what he was going to say.
We could, but they are slowly taking away our avenues, at least online, to be able to get organized because of, oh, hey, they organized this on Parler the 6th and trying to take Parler down because of it. Trying to force Parler to do other things because of it. Do we need to go back to the way things were being organized, which is, a Green Dragon Tavern type situation? Or,
It's not going to happen here. This is...
The internet is not where we talk.
No. This is such a small part of it. If it's ever going to happen, and I think, personally, if those kind of bills start happening... And those and those things become a reality, all the fantasy stuff that he's got on his website, if those things start becoming real, I think you will see organization happen.
Are we really willing to sit back and wait to see if they become reality? Like my question is, would you rather we'll play Would You Rather. Would you rather go show your arm? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Go show your arm today while you're not a felon for just having an arm? Or do you want to wait for that shit to be reality and now you're a felon even having an arm to try to go show?
Well,
for some of us, we'll keep doing this as long as they allow us, and we'll keep doing those other things. But unfortunately, it'll probably take something of that magnitude to get masses. I think
It's going to take something rock solid. Like if you go and show your arm right now, saying I'm sick, I'm done, you've crossed the line because of this, this, and this of what is being said, and there's no solid thing that happened like the 6th, how it was they said this, everybody went and tried to enter the Capitol building. It's going to villainize the people trying to stand up for rights. If you do it during them actively trying to take away.
So basically what you're saying, Jeremy, is when they outlaw guns, I become an outlaw, and at that time, I'm no longer law-abiding, and I'll do whatever the fuck I have to.
Or on the verge of becoming an outlaw.
Unfortunately, it's probably for some. I think organization is slowly happening now for people like us, and like-minded people like us that see what's happening, and we're trying to fight it the right way, quote unquote, I guess the right way. We're trying to be the law-abiding citizens and do it the right way. If it comes to a point where they make people like us felons for just being who we are, then I think that's when, unfortunately, it'll take that to get the masses to join us. I do.
I do believe that that's what it'll take. And the downside is like I said, what'd you say, 7 million new gun owners in the past 12 months?
Yeah, it was like 7 to 9 mil.
Yeah, last year. Yeah, pretty much. Something like
that.
Okay,
so we'll say 3.5 million people. Guarantee you, if they pass 127, we'll just walk up and hand them the shit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I bet it's more.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Okay, here you go.
Oh well, because for a lot of those people will be like, because they're not woke or whatever else you want to call it.
Right.
They're going to go, oh, well, guns are banned. Nobody's going to have a gun.
Right. They're going to be the believers that if they're banned, nobody will have one except for, you look at drugs.
Let me try to get canceled from Disney.
And they've never been to Chicago.
Hey, let's end it on this. Let me try to get canceled from Disney. You ready? It sure as shit sounds like the whole fucking Germany thing before the fucking Holocaust.
Okay.
Where we convince the German people that the Jews are the bad guy.
There's some, well, and there is, history has proven, history, you can, and you can go beyond Germany, you can go further back. There are things happening that have led to that end. However, there are also instances in history that the people have decided, okay, that's enough, and it hasn't led to that.
Right.
So which one we're going to be, I don't know.
You've done a lot of constitutional education, a lot of constitutional theory stuff. When it comes to our founding fathers and the revolution, do you feel that the shit that is going on, that not the shit that's potentially going to pass as law, potentially, but the shit that is going on with 2 failed impeachments, 2 lost impeachments, an entire term of no matter what was done, it was evil and bad, to even after out, every non-existent for the people in the United States bill that's passed for the last decade plus, do you think our founding fathers would still be sitting on their ass going, well, maybe when they tell us we're criminals, we'll be criminals?
Yeah, but honestly, yes and no. And probably more towards yes, because people have, and I know we got to go, but people have a misconception. People have a misconception of the beginning of, they think, oh, it was this incident and boom, that's when the planning happened. They organized. No. Again, why most people don't even know, because most people don't know. That's why most people don't even know the names and even know about who the Loyal Nine were. The Loyal Nine were years before the Sons of Liberty, the Tea Party, all that. It didn't happen like that, and boom, we're going to be a country. It was people like us doing this for years before it got to that. And basically,
but what I meant.
But basically, the king did. He did make him. Woo! He did make him felons.
Yeah. Well, but the only reason I asked that is because a lot of people have the misconception that, you know, the Boston Tea Party set it off because they were taxing tea. The shot her around the world, that never seems to be a thing. And I've actually heard people go, what is that?
Which one?
I know about.
Are we talking about Chicago Bulls or a president?
Well, but you have to remember, but Jacob, you have to remember history books are almost, most history books, probably for the last 20 years or so, history books are only, they're the ESPN 3-minute highlights. Yeah. They're only the Odell Beckham catch with one hand. That's all history. Unless you actually crack open a real history book, not a textbook, a history book, you're never going to know what led up to that one-handed catch. Right. You've got to read from the beginning. And that's probably, and that's something that maybe we need to stress more to people too, because if people get their history from a textbook, they don't know history.
You're only getting a nugget of it. You're not getting the whole part of it.
Not even close.
Whew. Okay. Well, on that note,
yeah, I'm running out of voice.
We're 11 past.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I gotta pee. I've had to pee for the last 15 minutes. So. And no, I don't have a Gatorade bottle, so back off.
Yeah, no catheter here.
So, next week, I'm going to have you guys bring your everyday carry knife and any knife you use for camp.
Cool.
Next
what?
week. For
any
camp.
Knife we use for cake?
Camp. No.
Well,
and by the way, I made the mistake, and I'll admit it, Jane's going to make fun of me for it. I fucked up and did what I'm not supposed to do. I put a cake cutting knife in my mouth to clean it and ended up cutting the edge of my mouth. But hey, we're not supposed to put knives in our mouths.
Jeremy, you are not allowed around the camp kitchen at all.
Don't worry, I got my big old camp knife. I'm gonna bring, if I get it out of my camp set out in the back building or metal.
Yeah,
building.
boy, yeah. Okay, only my everyday. Okay, all right.
An EDC knife and my camp knife, huh?
And a camp knife. Or camp knives, because I know I'm gonna have like 3 knives.
I was saying,
what class are we giving?
Just basic uses of knives. Basically, we're just gonna kind of go over knives a little bit. And
probably continue this.
Well, correct.
Well, we'll talk about this while we're pointing knives at the screen.
Sweet.
Whew, okay, that's no, because threats will get involved and we'll get thrown off.
Right there, right there's my everyday carry.
And Jane, yes, they all miss you. Anyways, everybody, HeartlandDefenders.com, as you can see on the screen. Heartland Defenders here on YouTube. No, we are not on Facebook.
No. Just share this. Share it.
Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Share it with your enemies. Share it with people you don't agree with.
Share it on YouTube. Put it on your Facebook page.
There you go.
We're more than willing to have conversations about anything we've talked about here. We're more willing to have conversations about the group. I'm going to go ahead and do the disclaimer that our conversations here on this show are not completely the thoughts or ideas of the entire group. I'm going to do that. I know some people don't agree with it. Hey, why not? But it's our thoughts here. Please go do your own research. Don't just take what we say, because you know what? We fuck up. We leave the wrong things.
We just get emotional.
Right. Things happen. Things get crossed. Our brains don't work right. go make sure check on your news sources that you have that you trust on your phone or wherever you're getting them from. Check up on them, even if you only take 10 or 15 minutes. But again, we're also here. Catch us through the heartlanddefenders.com website. You can contact us there. We're also all three of us are on Facebook somewhere. You're easier to catch us on heartlanddefenders.com and email us through that.
Yep.
That's the easiest,
right there on the
best
homepage,
way.
Guys. No,
Actually,
no lie.
I
Hit
think
us up on the website.
there's actually a question here. I'll even show it to you really quick. There's this question section. You can ask a question to us. Leave your name, your email, and a comment, and we will get to it. It won't sit for 3 years. Allegedly. So, thank you guys for watching us as usual. Thank you, too, always, for your time on Tuesday nights.
Thank you, sir.
And I will see you guys all next Tuesday.
Yeah. And probably see some of us on Saturday.
Saturday. What's Saturday?
You're so fired, dude.
Saturday. Wait,
Fired.
isn't it Sunday? What's Saturday? I don't know. Anyways, we'll talk
Council
about
meeting Saturday.
Oh, that's right. Oh, fudge nuggets. This is going to be a rough weekend.
It's close, though. It's close to you, though.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's just down the road. Thank goodness.
Yep.
You're
No
welcome.
2-hour drive. But anyway, so everybody have a good week. Be careful. Be safe. We'll see you next Tuesday, and we're out.
Later.